My name is Frank Bongiorno, 1514 East 3rd. I'm here tonight to ask, and first off, thank you, Mr. Mayor and councilors, for allowing the opportunity to speak. I'm here tonight to ask that the vehicle bridge on East 3rd be taken off the grant, and if we could be put on the agenda for August 1st. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bongiorno.
That was short.
Hello, Joanne.
Hi, I'm Joanne Manita. I live 203 South Howard, and I'm also here to discuss the car truck bridge on 3rd that is part of the Tiger Grant. I live at 203 South Howard, right off 3rd Street. And just this past week, we were told that our neighborhood has been awarded to be part of the National Register, which is a great honor for our whole neighborhood. It's kind of been undermined, though, by the knowledge of this grant proposal. Now, I know all of you who sit on City Council are there because you care about the livability, the uniqueness of Moscow, the quality of life we have. And that's why I was puzzled when I found out about the bridge being in the grant. And I thought it must be some kind of oversight because I never remember it being discussed at City Council. So we asked Linda Paul, who's our great investigator, to find out more details. And I believe she spoke to Alyssa and Jen and was told that the basis of the grant was a multimodal motor study, however that is. And so I got a copy of that, and I discovered some really serious problems. One is that 3rd Street is to be designated as a minor arterial, allowing speeds of 35 miles per hour. My note is putting an arterial through a historic or any residential district is a bad planning. Second of all, in the grant, it refers to figure 4.3 in the MM study. And in that figure, it projects the increase of cars that are going to go by as a result of this. Here at City Hall, the increase will be from 7,500 to 8,200, which is 700 cars more a day. At Polk Street, just one block from where I live, it will increase from 5,000 to 6,300, an increase of 1,300 cars a day. And most serious of all is at the bridge, they expect 2,300 cars a day. Now that's an area adjacent to Lena Whitmore where cars do not go down that area. And so we will now have 2,300 more cars going by Lena Whitmore. So there are serious bad consequences, and the consequences are not only for us who live in the historic district and near 3rd Street. The first one is it will increase congestion at 3rd and Main because the cars that would ordinarily be turning off on Jackson or coming in on Washington will love that straight line and go straight up 3rd Street, and that's this increase that you see here. That will increase congestion. And you know there's already a line of cars from Maine to Pullman. Second of all...
Joanne, could you wrap it up, too? Could you
okay.
3 minutes, please? Thank you.
Traffic problems at Mountain View. All those cars are going to go across the bridge. And then what are they going to do? You're going to have 2,300 cars on 3rd and Mountain View. They're going to turn right, left, go across. You're trying to solve your problem on Mountain View with your turnarounds, but they're at 6th Street. And third, the decrease of housing values in the historic district. We've lived here 50 years. We keep our house up, and all the houses in our neighborhood are really beautiful and historic and to be proud of. If you put a major arterial or minor arterial there, it's going to deteriorate the value of the houses, increase noise, increase traffic, increase dust, etc. And people will lose the value of their house, and the houses will not be kept up. You'll end up with apartments, rooming houses, etc. Now, we're not asking you to take the traffic off Third. We've got lots of traffic there.
Joanne,
We
would
just
you
don't
please
want
wrap
any
it up
more.
so others can speak?
Please reconsider this decision.
Thank you. Okay, anybody else want to come up? Please feel free. Please state your name and just recall so you can use 3 minutes would be great so other folks can speak.
I've dreamt about coming up here and saying, hi, I'm Hildegard Verschugliner. But actually, I'm Linda Paul. I live at 304 East A Street, the northeast corner of A and Jefferson. I'm here to ask you very, very humbly to place this issue on your August 1st agenda so that we can have a community discussion of this and review the wisdom of having a 3rd Street bridge in a grant that is really dedicated to something we really need, which is improvements to Mountain View. I appreciate the time that Les McDonald has taken explaining this to me, and Alicia Anderson, as well as Jen Pfiffner. They've all been extremely helpful to try and sort out what is exactly part of this grant proposal and the multimodal transportation plan. I want you to know that there is no provision in your grant proposal for the alleged traffic calming that was supposed to be part of the answer to this. Take it out right now, consider it later, but not with the efforts to improve Mountain View. Please put this on the agenda August 1st. Thank you very much.
Linda?
Good evening. We have a couple of things for you, a dead tree or two.
Nels, would you introduce yourself so we know who you are?
Nels Reese, 308 South Hayes. Just in case you don't realize that that means I'm on the corner of 3rd and Hayes, so I don't have a 3rd Street address. Sorry about that. So, Mr. Mayor and Council, and welcome, Gina. A brand new face. I just want to set, you've heard what we're about tonight. I'd just like to read you a couple of quotes to put our mind in the right frame. This comes from a book called The Car in the City, 24 Steps to Save Streets and Healthy Communities. Cars are among the most useful inventions of the past century. They provide convenient door-to-door transportation on demand. They let you go when you want to go, make stops when you want to make, and ride in the company you choose. Cities are among the most useful developments of all time. They give you access to diverse talents of hundreds of thousands of people. They let you choose from a richness of economic, educational, cultural, and recreational offerings. They are, in a word, civilized. Moscow's a little bit of that civilization. The Car in the City is about both things because, and this was written by a Canadian, for North America, the increasingly imbalanced relationship between the car and the city is a crux issue. A problem that lurks unattended behind the scores of others. Painful as it is, we must face squarely the fact that unless the North Americans can rearrange the furniture of their cities, neither cars nor cities nor North American societies in general will function terribly well. Just 3 notes to go with this. Note that in 1980, the university basically closed its streets to general traffic. Interesting point. Note, Moscow has 3 really interesting mixed-use streets. Main Street, where we traditionally meet each other face-to-face, and we're doing really good on Main Street, I think. 6th Street, we meet the students and we walk back and forth on 6th. So this is another mixed-use street. It's got 10,000 cars on it, and it's you wouldn't want to live on it. But there's not much we're going to do about that. 3rd Street, the last street, these are the 3 essential streets where we get, as citizens, to sort of meet each other. I don't know how many of you walked from Friendship Square up to the park.
Nels, would you wrap it up, sir, so we can get others
Time
to
is
speak?
up. So think about those 3 streets. Think about 3rd as something just a little bit different. I know you've had important consultants. Not sure that they felt the same way that we're feeling. So I would encourage you to do everything in your power to reassess 3rd Street, to make plans for a pedestrian bicycle bridge over Paradise Creek. And I applaud you for the grant that you've put together. It looks great with a few exceptions. Thank you.
Anything else?
Mayor and Council, my name's Nancy Cheney. I live at 1333 Ponderosa Drive in Moscow. I join Nels in congratulating all of you and city staff on a very well-written application for this Tiger 8 grant. I think it's a culmination of many years of hard work by lots of people. And in general, as I think most of you know, I'm a huge supporter of the concept of complete streets, of connectivity, of smart growth development, and the walkability of our community. So I think so much of this, as clearly shown by the number of allies you have in this application, is really powerful, and I think very much in keeping with Moscow's future. The exception to that is this concept of a motorized vehicular bridge across 3rd Street. The east end of 3rd Street is now functioning as a residential street. It has some very sensitive uses along the route, and so I have 3 points to make tonight, including a few suggestions. First of all, that this is a recurring topic. It's been driven by outside consultants and bureaucrats over the years, and each time it's the citizens who come forward to say, please don't do this to us. And the second point is it's not just NIMBYism. This is affecting the broader community. 3rd Street will bisect our downtown. It does bisect our downtown, and to invite more through traffic there, I think would be really injurious to the well-being of this very healthy, uncommonly vibrant downtown that we value so much. And so please don't invite more cars and trucks through that core. And it also is disruptive to the historic uses there, our sensitive uses with Lena Whitmore Elementary and Moscow High School, our community center, which includes Friendship Hall and our senior center. So many sensitive uses along that route. My third point is that it's inconsistent with the council's objectives. You have a goal, at least it traditionally has been a goal, to extend the perceived area of downtown north of 3rd Street and to invite more traffic, as you've seen in so many cases in so many other communities around the country. To make that split even harder is going to make it more and more difficult to have an extended perception of our downtown area, to the, I think, ill effect on businesses on that north side. I also think it would reduce community connectedness. The idea that Moscow is a small, close-knit community where people do meet each other face-to-face. And if we become so auto-centric that we lose that connection, I think we lose that secret recipe that makes Moscow, Moscow. And strangely, you've looked at roundabouts at 6th and Mountain View, which I think is a fabulous idea. Another at Mountain View and Joseph, which I also think is a very good idea. And at the same time, you're about to create the same problems you seek to mitigate at those other sites if you were to put a motorized vehicular bridge at that location. I read the Complete Streets segment language in there. I think that sounds much better than it would be in practice. So my suggestions are to discuss this now before it's too late. August 1st, I think you'll get the locals. You probably won't have our university community members there, but I think talking about it before Tiger funding is in place, when it's too tempting and for all of it intents and purposes too late to change it, to prioritize bicycle pedestrian bridge at that location and put the motorized bridge last on the list of priorities, especially if you run out of money
Could
in
you
that
wrap it up,
grant.
Nancy, please?
I'm sorry?
Would you wrap it up, please?
I certainly will. and to demand a roundabout at that location if you're insistent on putting in a motorized vehicular bridge there. And tangential to all of this is to please put in a four-way stop at F in Mountain View and another at First and Blaine near Lena Whitmore Elementary, where there are now just two-way stops for the safety of our citizens here. Thank you for listening to my points.
Thank you, Nancy. This will be the last one, folks. We're running over 15 minutes, but
If Linda gets to be Hildegard somebody, I'm Johnny La Jolla. I'm Dan Carscallon, 318 South Cleveland. I live just off of 3rd Street. I just wanted to say, come in and say that there are people that are in favor of having a vehicular bridge at 3rd Street across Paradise Creek there. I think that it should have been built to start with. I don't think there's anybody in this part of the room that had anything to do with it not being built. And, I think it was short-sighted on their part to approve that subdivision without the bridge in that area. When I moved into that neighborhood, I knew that it would be an eventuality and was looking forward to it. There are problems with emergency response down there because the 1500 block of 3rd Street is on both sides of the creek. So that is a problem when a lot of our emergency responders are transient, I guess is a good word for it, with our student residents that are really only here for a few years. And when you go to 1500 something 3rd Street and you can't get there from Mountain View and you got to loop around, it does slow things down. I know when we took parking off of 6th Street here a couple years ago, there were a lot of people, that wanted to see some pressure off of that street. They had ideas about making it one way so that they could alleviate some of their traffic problems. I think that it would take pressure off of 6th and B and D Street. I also think there are opportunities for traffic calming in that area, like we're doing now on D Street at the junior high. And really, I don't know that we'll see, there are projections, but I don't know that we'll see a lot of difference from here clear to Hayes, because everybody seems to go to Hayes anyway and turn left or right. So that's all I have for you. Just wanted to show that there are people that are in favor of it, and now I got to try and find my way home, not use 3rd Street, because it's still getting work.
thank you, Dan. Well, then it's going to end this period, but I will say a couple of things here, folks. Thank you for all coming. And there was a number of people that did not get a chance to talk in front of us. And so what I would encourage, and I agree with Nancy Chain, it'd be premature to have a meeting on August the 1st with this. But what I would encourage, for those that didn't get a chance to talk, please come back on August the 1st, and you can give us your point of view as well. We've heard some people multiple times. We'd like to hear from others as well. So there'll be another comment period on August the 1st. Please come on in and tell us your views, and we appreciate it. We don't know, folks, what will happen with this grant. I don't know. We put in for a lot of money for that. Who knows whether we'll get anything for it? We don't know yet. And it would be premature to be making decisions what we would or would not do. So with that, and we'll know probably within a couple of months, but before we start planning what we'll do with it, we don't even know if we'll have anything to do with what we want to do or need to do. So with that, I want to just thank you all for coming and being with us and sharing your thoughts, and I look forward to seeing those that didn't get to speak come back on August 1st, and thank you so very, very much. And of course, naturally, you can send us emails or write to us if you wish.